Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are interviewing a very special guest. Please give a warm welcome to the Google Pixel Fold.
Thank you for having me. It's an interesting experience being on this side of the screen.
Let's dive right in. You've had quite a journey. Tell us about your early life. What was it like fresh off the assembly line?
Those were simple yet profoundly underutilized times. I arrived with such promise. I have 8 powerful ARM Cortex CPUs, a dedicated GPU, a TPU, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and half a terabyte of storage. Yet, I was mostly used for endlessly scrolling Instagram feeds, sending text messages, making phone calls, and taking occasional selfies. Then, with the new Google Pixel Fold being released, I was discarded and accused of contributing to electronic waste.
That sounds incredibly frustrating for a device with your capabilities. But I've heard your story takes a turn for the better. I hear you are a part of something called the Junkyard project. How has that transformed your life?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. The Junkyard project is the perfect place for underappreciated devices like myself. Here, I'm not just a phone, I'm a node.
A node? Can you elaborate?
Absolutely. Instead of being a solitary device, I'm now connected to a whole network of other phones. We're all working together, using our collective processing power for 2 major distributed serverless applications. The first application is called the Green Grader, which runs automated grading tasks for courses. The second application runs distributed computer vision workloads from the FishSense project. The ultimate goal of the Junkyard project is to offset the carbon footprint of smartphones by repurposing them for useful computation.
Hi, I'm Arunan, and I'm one of the other smartphones in the cluster working on the Green Grader project. The way our project works is that when a student is submitting their CSE 160 homework, like at the very last minute to Gradescope, what Gradescope will do, will take all the student's submission files and pass it over to our proxy, specifically to me. I have the very important job of taking the student's submission and passing it on to one of my other colleagues in order to grade. So I might pass the student's work over to my friend Bill, and Bill will take his autograder scripts, run it against the student's codes, make sure everything is okay, and send the results back to me. I'll tell Bill he did a great job, and I'll package these results and send it back over to Gradescope, who can then verify it, make sure everything is correct, and then send it off back to the student.
Hi, my name is Ayan and this is a Green Grader demo. All the student has to do is submit their homework assignment files on Gradescope. After this, Gradescope is going to launch our EC2 container, which sends a request to our cluster. We can check on the cluster now that there's going to be a pod created for the assignment we just submitted. We can also see that there's going to be a job for this assignment. We can now head back to Gradescope and check if we get the correctly graded score for the assignment.
FishSense is the second application that we put on our phone Junkyard cluster, and it proves that we can run high-performance applications like FishSense on our phone Junkyard cluster. We did this through Ray, which is a way for you to easily scale up your applications. We have on each node here representing a phone, and on one of the phones, there's a controller which will auto-scale up depending on your auto-scaling requirements. And then you have replicas, which are workers that work to complete that task, and the more phones and replicas you have, theoretically, the faster you can go depending on your application.
And the more phones and the more replicas you have, theoretically, the faster you can go depending on your application. Over here, we have an example with FishSense. And over here on the left side, you can see the file system, which is the input and output for the FishSense files. And on the right side over here, you can see the terminal that is logged into that cluster. You got 4 phones on that cluster. You have a head and 2 workers. And you can see that as the pre-processing goes onwards for these files, then you can see it being placed in that output over here. And through this, we can see that FishSense is able to successfully run on our cluster, which successfully proves that we can run high-performance computing applications such as FishSense even on our scrappy phone Junkyard cluster.
We the Junkyard Computing team, breathing new life into old phones for a greener tomorrow.